Welcome to Life Spark Narratives, the place where real stories ignite hope and awaken your inner strength. In our journey through life, we often hear tales of instant success, of overnight millionaires, and of paths paved with gold. But what about the other side of the coin? What about the moments when everything falls apart? Today we're going to share a journey that many of you might find deeply familiar. The story of someone who chased a dream, lost everything in business, and then, against all odds, rose again, stronger and wiser than ever. Sometimes failure isn't the end of the road. It's a sharp, unexpected turn that leads to a new beginning, a beginning of something truly extraordinary. This is the story of a person who fell hard, stood back up, and in doing so, changed their life forever. It's a testament to the idea that our greatest victories often come right after our most crushing defeats. So, if you've ever felt like you've hit rock bottom, this story is for you. Let's call him Alex. Like many of us, Alex started with nothing but a dream of powerful, burning desire to build something meaningful, something he could call his own. It wasn't about getting rich quick. It was about creating value, solving a problem, and leaving a small mark on the world. He poured his life savings, his time, and every ounce of his energy into his new venture. The early days were filled with an intoxicating mix of excitement and anxiety. At first, things looked incredibly bright. The market responded positively. Customers started coming in, intrigued by his passion and the quality of his product. Sales began to grow, slowly at first, then with gathering momentum. With each new order and every positive review, hope filled his heart. He worked tirelessly, often late into the night, fueled by coffee and the unwavering belief that hard work would always, eventually lead to success. He saw a future where his dream was not just a possibility, but a reality taking shape right before his eyes. He felt invincible, as if he had discovered the secret code to success. But life, as we all know, has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect them. It has its own plans, its own timing, and its own lessons to teach. And for Alex, the lesson was about to be a harsh one. The ground beneath his feet, which had felt so solid, began to tremble. One day, almost without warning, everything started to collapse. It wasn't one single event, but a cascade of problems that hit all at once. A sudden shift in the market made his product less relevant. New, bigger competitors entered the scene, armed with massive budgets and aggressive pricing strategies that he simply couldn't match. Compounding this, a few small operational mistakes, things he had overlooked in the rush of early growth, began to snowball into a full-blown disaster. Shipments were delayed, quality control slipped, and soon the once loyal customers started to complain. The financial strain became unbearable. The money he had so carefully managed started to bleed out. Took out loans, hoping to bridge the gap. But it was like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. Soon, he lost the money. He lost the trust of his suppliers. And worst of all, he lost faith in himself. The dream that had once been a blazing fire was now just smoldering embers. There were long, dark nights when he would sit in complete silence, the weight of his failure pressing down on him. The same four walls that had once witnessed his ambitious planning now echoed with his self-doubt. He'd whisper to himself, "Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I'm just not good enough." The voice of the inner critic, once a faint whisper, was now a deafening roar. He felt ashamed, isolated, and completely broken. It seemed like the end of the line. But even in that profound darkness, deep inside his soul, a small, resilient spark still burned. It was a faint flicker of defiance, a quiet belief that this could not be the end of his story. This single, devastating chapter couldn't be the entire book. He refused to let his failure define him. He refused to quit. So, with a resolve he didn't know he possessed, he made a decision. He decided to rebuild. But this time, he wasn't going to start with the business. He was going to start with himself. He recognized that the business had failed because he, as its leader, had failed. He had been arrogant, he had been naive, and he had prioritized growth over stability. He embarked on a journey of intense self-improvement. He read every book he could find on business strategy, financial management, and leadership. He sought out mentors, people who had been through similar storms and emerged on the other side. He swallowed his pride and listened, truly listened, to their advice. Analyzed his past mistakes with brutal honesty, not to dwell on them, but to extract every possible lesson. He worked on fixing the personal habits, the lack of discipline, the impatience, the tendency to cut corners that had once led him astray. He was forging a new version of himself, one built on a foundation of humility and wisdom. This time, when he was ready to try again, he started smaller, much smaller. There were no grand illusions of overnight success, no shortcuts to the top, just a clear, simple plan. He was wiser now, more humble, and infinitely more determined. He understood that true success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon run with patience and discipline. He focused on building a solid foundation, one brick at a time. Every decision was measured, every expense was scrutinized, and every customer was treated like gold. And slowly, painstakingly, success began to return. It wasn't a sudden explosion like before, but a quiet, steady tide. Customers, sensing the newfound integrity and quality, came back. Trust with suppliers was painstakingly rebuilt through consistency and honesty. The business began to grow again, not because of luck or a favorable market, but because of sheer, unyielding resilience. It was a stronger, healthier growth, rooted in the hard-won lessons of his past failure. Months turned into years. His company not only found stability, but began to thrive in a way it never had before. And more importantly, his heart found peace. The frantic anxiety of his first attempt was replaced by a quiet confidence. The kind that comes only from knowing you can survive the worst and still stand tall. Today, Alex often shares his story with other aspiring entrepreneurs and anyone facing a setback. He doesn't do it to brag about his comeback, but to offer a powerful reminder. Failure doesn't define you. How you rise after failure does. His journey became living proof that success isn't about never falling. It's about never, ever staying down. It's about getting up one more time than you've been knocked over. So if life knocks you down, if you find yourself on the floor, breathless and defeated, don't be afraid. Don't lose hope. Because sometimes, the hard, unforgiving ground you fall on is the very place where you find the strength you never knew you had. It's where you plant your feet to push off from, to launch yourself higher than you ever thought possible. Remember this simple truth. No one truly fails until they give up. Your story isn't over yet. The next chapter is waiting to be written by you. If this story inspired you and sparked a little hope in your heart, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to Life Spark Narratives. Hey, and don't forget to share this video with someone who might need to hear this message today. Together, we can spread hope and motivation to others around the world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.